Chicago Fire. Daniel Kyri and Jake Lockett to leave after season 13. Daniel Kyri and Jake Lockett will not be returning to NBC's Chicago Fire if the show is renewed for a 14th season, sources tell Deadline. Kyri has been on the hit firefighter drama for 7 seasons, Lockett for 3. The move comes amid rumblings about cuts across Wolf Entertainment's NBC series ahead of their likely renewals for next season. As a cost-saving measure, the Chicago and Law and Order series 2 years ago reduced the number of episodes for most longtime cast members. It is unclear yet whether the belt-tightening this time will involve further episode reductions, but it is a possibility. Kyri and Lockett's departures are believed to be part of an effort to trim the budget of Chicago Fire, which also faces negotiations with many of the series' veteran cast members whose contracts are up, sources said. As actor deals are getting renegotiated and renewal talks between NBC and producing studio Universal Television on the 5 Wolf Entertainment series for the network continue, there could be more exits across all 5 shows, we hear. Sources close to production reveal that shooting continues on Chicago Fire, which means Darren and Sam may get a proper ending for their characters. 13 seasons in, the One Chicago mothership remains one of NBC's best-performing scripted series on both linear and streaming. Reps for NBC, Universal TV, and Wolf Entertainment declined comment. Kyri joined Chicago Fire in Season 7 as firefighter Darren Ritter in a recurring role before getting promoted to the main cast 2 seasons later. Darren is very well liked and respected among his peers and has come a long way since he was a firefighter candidate. The recent focus of the character has been around his love life, with Season 12 and 13 delving into his relationship with Officer Dwayne Monroe. The pair parted ways because Darren wasn't ready to move in with Dwayne. Lockett portrays firefighter Sam Carver since Season 11. He also started on the show in a recurring role before getting bumped up to the main cast 2 seasons later. His storyline seemed to wane after his relationship with Violet ended, leading him back to the destructive behaviors he had worked so hard to improve upon. He also found himself in the arms of a former girlfriend who, as a party girl, was probably not the best choice for a sober person to reignite a relationship with. He eventually relapsed and entered a 12-step program in rehab. Since then, Sam has been working hard to redeem himself at the firehouse and with Violet, who have since renewed their friendship. The wind howled through the streets of Chicago, echoing the unrest stirring inside Firehouse 51. It was a morning like any other, sirens, steaming mugs of coffee, and the clatter of gear being checked. But beneath the usual chaos, an unspoken heaviness lingered. The news had hit just hours earlier. Daniel Kyri, who has portrayed the soulful and sharp-witted Darren Ritter since Season 7, and Jake Lockett, who brought fierce intensity and vulnerability to Sam Carver, were both set to leave the show at the end of Season 13. The Firehouse, known for its resilience, brotherhood, and unbreakable bonds, now found itself bracing for one of the hardest goodbyes in recent memory. A firefighter's legacy. Ritter stood in the kitchen, staring into his coffee like it held all the answers. His time at 51 had transformed him, from the fresh-faced Provy with anxiety tucked behind a brave smile, to a seasoned firefighter whose courage was undeniable. He had been the emotional anchor for so many, a friend to Gallo, a sounding board for Mouch, a support system for Herman. But now a new opportunity had come knocking, one that involved a promotion, a different house, and a fresh start. He hadn't been looking to leave, but leadership had noticed his quiet command and remarkable empathy. Now Chief Foden had offered him the chance to lead his own crew. Ritter's heart was torn. "This place is home," he said to Stella Kidd, who had come to find him after morning drills. "You'll always have a home here," she replied gently, resting a hand on his shoulder. "But you've outgrown these walls, Ritter. You're ready." His eyes brimmed with unshed tears. He thought about the fires, the rescues, the losses, especially Otis, who had once taken him under his wing. He wanted to honor that legacy by leaving with the same heart. The fighter within. Across the bay, Sam Carver was wrapping tape around his bruised knuckles. It had been another rough call the night before. Warehouse fire, partial collapse, too many close calls. But for Carver, danger wasn't the thing that haunted him. It was his past. He'd come to 51 as a wild card, rough around the edges, hiding pain behind bravado. But over time, he'd grown into more than just a reliable firefighter. Carver's departure wasn't by choice, at least not entirely. After a particularly brutal collapse in episode 17, he sustained lingering injuries. The doctor said he could recover, but the risk was growing. One more serious hit, and he might not walk again. He had fought it, tried to tough it out, but Stella had seen the pain in his eyes. She had been the one to say it aloud. "You don't have to keep breaking yourself to prove you belong. You already do." Carver, always defiant, had tried to argue. But eventually, the truth settled like smoke, thick, inescapable, and real. The Farewell Fire. Season 13's penultimate episode will be titled The Farewell Fire. It begins with a routine call to an abandoned school building on the west side. A simple kitchen fire, they're told. But as 51 rolls in, the situation escalates. Chemicals in the janitor's closet spark a chain reaction, and the roof begins to give way. It's chaos, debris raining, smoke choking every exit. Ritter and Carver charge inside together, side by side, just like always. They save a trapped teen and his dog, maneuvering with precision honed over years of shared duty. But then, another blast shakes the foundation. Ritter shoves Carver out of the way of a falling beam, and they both hit the ground hard. The scene cuts to black. Bonds that burn forever. In the final episode of the season, titled A Brother's Departure, the two recover in the hospital. Carver's injuries confirm what he already suspected. He's done. Ritter, too, realizes that his decision to leave Firehouse 51 was the right one. Life was pushing them forward, whether they were ready or not. The firehouse holds a farewell barbecue behind Molly's. The whole crew is there: Gallo, Cruz, Kid, Severide, returning in a special cameo. And of course, Bowden. Herman raises a glass. To the ones who never quit, who gave their all, and who leave behind boots too big to fill. Mouch hands over a patched-up turnout coat to Ritter with tears in his eyes, while Kid surprises Carver with a custom plaque inscribed, "For valor, for grit, for brotherhood." Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, Daniel Kyri expressed deep gratitude for his time on the show in a heartfelt Instagram post. "Playing Darren Ritter changed my life. He taught me how to be brave, even when scared. Thank you, Chicago Fire family. See you down the road." Jake Lockett also weighed in, saying, "This show gave me a brotherhood I didn't expect." Thank you to the fans who gave Carver a second chance, just like 51 did. Showrunner Andrea Newman confirmed that both exits were planned thoughtfully. "We wanted to honor their arcs and give them the send-offs they deserved. They've left a permanent mark on the fabric of 51. What's next for 51? With two beloved firefighters leaving, Firehouse 51 faces a new era. The upcoming season 14 promises new additions, including a fresh-faced paramedic recruit and a mysterious transfer from another house with a controversial past. But even with new faces, the heart of Firehouse 51 remains unchanged. It's about the family you choose, the battles you fight together, and the courage to walk into the flames, and sometimes the courage to walk away.